look around me, I see people pursuing math and science. Parents forcing their children to pursue math and science. Children knowing that their only future career option will be math and science. But my chosen career path is a very different one. It is history. But is history a good career option for me? And more importantly, does it have any impact on humanity? When I was 6 years old, my parents came back from a trip to Paris. My mother used to always show me the pictures of her trip. One of the pictures she showed me was that of the Mona Lisa, a painting in the Louvre Museum. I was really drawn to this picture because everyone in the crowd was attracted to the painting on the wall. I soon realized that this painting, the Mona Lisa, was the most famous painting in the world. I started researching a lot about it because I wanted to know why this gem was so famous. And slowly I realized that to understand one thing in history, like the Mona Lisa, I also need to cover other aspects, like the Mona Lisa's artist, Leonardo da Vinci, the period in which he lived, the Renaissance, and other Renaissance artists. Slowly, I started to develop an interest in history. I started researching every day, watching history documentaries. And during the COVID period, when we had online classes, I started writing essays on history. Soon, these essays were compiled into my first book, World History in 3 Points, published by Hachette. Soon after, I still hadn't lost my lust to write more essays on history. And so, I wrote my second book, More World History in 3 Points, another compilation of around 100 topics on history. And soon after, I started writing on hidden links in history, how various things connect to show the big picture, how sexism was injected into our DNA by a band of nomads. And thus, my third book, Hidden Links, was published by Penguin in 2023. But what does history have to provide for our society? My most favorite philosopher, a German philosopher, Georg Hegel, said that history is not about the primitive, the losses, but it's rather about those small aspects which we can take from the past to make our present and our future better. Let me give you an example. Today, almost all of us are addicted to technology. We're always scrolling through shorts on our mobile phones, watching Instagram reels on our computers, or just binge watching YouTube. But if we take the aspect of living in societies, living as a family, living with your friends from ancient India, you can not only make our present and our future better, but you can change the world. The Russian philosopher Immanuel Kant helps us to understand justice. Kant says that justice is not about locking somebody up, it's not about torturing somebody, but it's rather about showing their crime to them. For example, take a thief. A thief will not understand his crime if he is punished, but rather if his crime is committed to him. A thief, to understand his crime, you should steal something important from him. The Greek philosopher Epicurus helps us to live a happy life. Unlike Kant, who's talking about justice, Epicurus says that in order to live a happy life, we should not be blinded by material possessions, by earthly possessions, but rather by simple philosophical conversations. We should remove ourselves from this world and rather immerse ourselves with our friends and family. And lastly, the French philosopher René Descartes helps us to solve our most difficult questions. He simplifies all tough questions into a simple 4-step method. The first step being accepting all the information we can and then cutting out only the truth. The second step is to simplify this truth into smaller parts. And the third step, to solve the simplest parts. The last step, to finish all the hard remaining parts. And finally, check everything if you've done everything correct. But what else does history have to provide for us, except for boring philosophers telling us about justice and happiness? How can history provide good career opportunities? How can it differentiate from math and science? I believe that unlike math and science, which has yes or no answers, which is black and white, history has maybe, has okay, has maybe yes, maybe no questions and answers. It is grey. Recently, I posted an Instagram reel on the Spanish delight chocolate con churros. Churros is a type of fried dough which is dipped in chocolate and enjoyed. I said that chocolate was introduced to the Spaniards when they invaded South America and found cacao beans from which chocolate is made. But one of my Spanish viewers said that I was wrong, that the Spaniards didn't invade South America, but they rather discovered it. These are two very different opinions. One passive, the other aggressive. But both, in some way or the other, are truth. History is about understanding the truths. Am I wrong, or was my Spanish viewer wrong? Or were we both correct? It's not yes or no. It's a maybe, don't you think? And so, history helps us develop important skills like critical thinking. The World Economic Forum estimates that in the future, where all important jobs are taken over by AI and machines, the only remaining job opportunities for humans to differentiate themselves from AI would be jobs involving skills like critical thinking, which is propagated by history. So the next time you open a history book, immerse yourself in Hammurabi, in Alexander the Great, in Cyrus the Great, in Darius, in Ashoka, in Chandragupta Maurya, in Ramesses, in the Greek civilization, in the Indus Valley civilization, in the Treaty of Kadesh. It can really make a change.